Welcome back to Shem's Universe. So today, guys, we're going to go over the dark element to each sun sign. So the dark side of each sun sign, guys, is something that you want to be better acquainted with. This is going to be a very, I'd say, short, concise, direct video that more so goes towards what people should look out for when it comes to dealing with people with different sun signs, whether you look at it from a Vedic perspective or whether you look at it from a tropical perspective. But more importantly, what you want to look out for is how can you identify these traits in yourself? Meaning, like, how do you identify, am I a narcissist? Am I stubborn? Am I aggressive? Am I manipulative? And you can use these dark elements to actually confer benefit to yourself, and then also have a better understanding of yourself, of the things that you try to put away, that in like Jungian psychology they call it the shadow side. So through your sun sign, you can actually see that. Your moon sign will teach you a lot about the dark recesses of your mind as well, your emotional reaction to things. But you can use the common sense of what I'm saying, meaning, because I'm going to go over all 12 signs, you can actually use the knowledge that I'm giving you right now to then identify what the subconscious part of your brain is like through your moon sign. So here we go. Aries. When it comes to Aries, their dark side is that they can be overly aggressive due to the Martian energy that they possess. Aries already knows being aggressive, hot-tempered, and they want to be number one. They want to be the first to do things. They have that cardinal energy about them. Aries, when pushed too far, can be overly aggressive. They can be overly competitive. That could be very beneficial in business, but not very beneficial maybe with family or with loved ones at times. Maybe that can go a bit overboard. So you just want to be careful of that. For Taurus, you have Taurus individuals, it's a fixed earth sign, they could be a bit too stubborn. This is whether you're looking at it from a sidereal or a tropical, doesn't matter. It's going to be the same sort of thing. If you're a Taurus, you might be a bit too stubborn and set in your ways. It's good to be resolute. That works well. Again, very good for business when you have to see ideas through. But it can be the complete opposite when you're in a situation where you and your partner have an idea and then you're just sticking with your idea regardless of what your partner even says. So that can actually just lead to then bad results. So you have to really know how to utilize these traits, because I'm calling them dark elements or dark traits. But if you know how to use them in the proper way, they can actually be used for a lot of good in comparison to what people would define as evil. Gemini is funny to me. That's my sun sign. But overall, what I'd say with Gemini is that they're already considered to be a bad sign no matter what. Like, we have probably the worst reputation than Scorpio. Gemini, I had a subscriber comment earlier on one of my videos talking about how that Gemini is not a good communicator, and I respond to them. So I hope you're watching this, because I'm going to respond to you right now. And what I felt with that was that they're like, Geminis aren't good communicators, and that's from a video I made probably years ago. But what I was saying really is that, yeah, Geminis know how to communicate to get what they want. So if you think they're a bad communicator, it's because they're probably manipulating or gaslighting you. They're definitely a good communicator. Every Gemini I've met, from anywhere born between May 21st and June 20th, is a good communicator. But the main thing is that they can switch the way they articulate themselves, or the way they get their idea across, depending on the person that they're in front of. They're very chameleon-like. Like, the way I'm talking to you guys on this video is pretty much the same way I am, especially if you guys have consulted with me, I'm pretty much the same. But I can, if I'm in a sales environment, be more aggressive, or be more nonchalant if I need to be, if I need to appear like I don't care. It all depends. So Geminis are extremely good when it comes to sales and things like that, and they're very big manipulators. Gemini is a manipulative sign, and I would say by far the most manipulative sign, the most cunning, most shrewd. They're very cutthroat with their communication. They can convince anybody of anything. They'll convince you to buy water when you're next to an ocean. Like, they'll convince you of anything, in other words. That was even a good example because the ocean water is dirty. But, like, they'll just convince you of anything. It's a long story short. If you're a Gemini, use it to your advantage. If you're not a Gemini, watch out for these guys. They're slimy. I'm saying it as a Gemini. Geminis are slimy. Can't trust them. Trust me. Like, don't bother. You have to make sure you know what you're doing when you're dealing with a Gemini. And if you are a Gemini person, you need to use your dark psychology to go into sales, politics, social media, do something that actually confers use for communication to then get sales, or to at least teach people things that in turn make you money anyways. Next is Cancer. Cancer, a lot of people are like, oh, Cancer's soft, they're psychic, they're clairvoyant, they're smart financially. Like, you don't really think about the bad sign to Cancer very often. I've noticed that. Even I don't. But Cancer is manipulative emotionally. The thing with Cancer is that they're so intuitive and so in touch with their own emotions and the emotions of other people that their empathy, what's good about them, can actually be used. What the heck is that? Can be used for evil as well. To get that after. They can be used for a lot of evil, guys. If you're a Cancer individual watching this, you're probably like, oh, don't say I'm not manipulative. I'm in my feelings. You guys can definitely be in your feelings. I agree. But you guys can also manipulate other people's feelings to go with your agenda, which is useful. And that's also good for show business, entertainment industry, social media. It's good to get an audience. I think Cancer individuals make very good politicians, just like Geminis, and they make very good salespeople and performers. And that dark element is actually what will make you rich. So you should use it more. Leos are narcissists. Everybody knows that. Leo's going to say, no, I'm not. I just like attention. You're a narcissist. The way you turn that dark element into a light one is you have to be an achievement-based narcissist internally. What do you mean by that, Shem? Leos always want attention. Like, if they're going to buy a car, they're going to tell you I'm buying a car, show a picture of the car before they buy it. If they're going to get clothes, or if, like, we have this big mall called Yorkdale where I'm from, Toronto. They'll be at Yorkdale taking all the videos, and they'll be at Louis taking videos and taking snaps and all this stuff, and it's like, okay, cool. Hope that didn't empty out your entire pocket, but you know, with Leos, what you guys gotta do is this. Instead of like needing attention from other people, be obsessed with accomplishments, goals, and achievements. Meaning, like, the more you can achieve in life, like getting to the top of your company, starting your own business, registering it, all these things, you can definitely be a bit of a show-off. That's just healthy. It's healthy to have a good sense of ego and pride. It's actually what actually will give you that motivation to be disciplined, to get up at 5 a.m. when other people won't. But that champion mentality can't go overboard to the point where it actually is a weakness to you guys, because it can be twofold. For Leos, it's like this. Either one, you guys will be achievement-based, so you're doing it for yourself, and then people just give you attention, so it feeds your ego anyways. That's the healthy way. The second way is you hit the gym and you haven't shown any real muscle yet. Like, let's see me, I'm skinny, right? Look at this. Cool, no muscle, right? Imagine I came on every day on my story and just said, yeah, I did biceps today, bro. Yeah, I did calves, did quads. Like, people are gonna be like, who cares? You're not even muscular, bro. Like, shut up. It's the same thing with Leos. You guys have to learn to just get attention naturally by being, yes, obsessed with yourself, and yes, have that narcissism, but use that narcissism to get ahead in physicality, in business, in networking. Use it to actually confer real, like real life benefit to yourself, for lack of a better word. Make sure it's actually that narcissism is benefiting you. Dark triad individuals get ahead very naturally because they're able to use the dark recesses of their mind to do things other people won't be willing to do. Instead of being evil, do it for good causes. Be the best on your sports team. Be the best employee of the month or the year or the quarter or whatever. That way you're doing things that are going to be good from a moral standpoint, so you don't accrue bad karma, but you're also doing things that's going to benefit your life right away. That was a bit of a long explanation, but Leos, you need to hear that. Next, we have Virgos. Virgos are overly critical. Virgos are perfectionists. That's why they're overly critical. People be like, oh, Virgos are critical. I'm like, yeah, but they're perfectionists. It's my rising sign, so I get it. Virgo sun sign individuals are definitely very critical. They're critical of themselves. They're critical of their environment. They're going to be critical of their car, everything. They're critical of everything. For you to benefit from that overly critical mind, you want to put it inside of you. You want to criticize yourself more. And I don't mean that in a sense of putting yourself down. I mean, be that critique that is weaponized. That the way you speak, you criticize, make sure you speak eloquent. The way you think, there's no rust, there's no negative mindset. Everything you do that you criticize for yourself. So be hard on yourself and completely easy and lax with other people. Unless they work for you in a business, then you know what to expect. But socially and in a familial setting, meaning your family, just be easygoing. As a Virgo, you'll have a lot more friends and a lot more respect and a lot more admiration if you're highly critical of yourself and have no expectations of other people. The biggest thing with Virgos is that usually they're so overly analytical and overly critical to the point where they'll analyze things to the point where they freeze, don't get anything done. So they're going to be a person that's critical and then not even have any real world achievements to have a reason to be critical. What I'm telling you to do instead is put all that attention on yourself and then become a very successful person. And then people want to impress you anyway, so you don't have to criticize them. Next, we got Libras. People with Libra, they're like, this is like the superhero, like Libras aren't bad, da, da. Or they'll be like, oh, girl Libras are crazy. Where I'm from, that's what they say. The truth of the matter is Libras have a bad side, and that's they can be a bit too self-righteous. Libras are definitely karmic individuals. Saturn exalts in your sign for a reason. You guys are definitely the face and ambassador when it comes to karma. But you have to understand, guys, that being a Libra individual insinuates that you definitely have to be very well acquainted with karma, but you don't want to be so acquainted with it to the point where you think you're better than other people. Like, oh, I'm religious, I read the Bible every day, so I'm better than you are. I know that I'm a life path 22, so I'm better than you are. I'm a Libra, so I'm better than you. You can't think like that. What you have to think like is, I want to treat people the way I want to be treated, and leave it there. Even if other people aren't reciprocating that energy, obviously don't get taken advantage of. That's one thing I tell all my Libras on readings anyways. But what you want to do is make sure that you're not putting yourself on some pedestal saying, well, I'm more righteous than people and I'm better, because that's going to make the universe snark at you and then bring you down a notch, make you humble. So just make sure that you're not viewing yourself as overly self-righteous, and also make sure that you're not being people's, I'd say, what do they call it? For lack of a better word, like their welcome mat, like just somebody that they just can walk all over. Next, we got Scorpio. Everybody knows Scorpio's bad. It's like Gemini. Like they're pretty much what people will say is what's good about Scorpios, which is like, come on, get out of here. Scorpios are amazing people. Some of my best friends are Scorpios, love Scorpios. With Scorpio, you guys are psychopaths. I'll be real with you. You guys, the Scorpios I know, they're the type of guys that will do the pickup stuff where they pick up girls in the mall, but the girls get intimidated, not them, because they're so confident. And it's because they have a lack of sometimes empathy and a lack of fear. The way you guys don't need certain things, the way you can shallow out your emotions, you want to use that for high risk situations and job situations where you can actually be paid more. Be paid for your fearlessness. The psychopathic traits that you guys have, or sociopathic traits, whatever you want to call it, can actually be weaponized. If you need more, I'd say, of an explanation of that, I need to see more of your chart. Hit me up for a reading or a general question. I'll help you out with that. But for Scorpios, like I'm saying, is you guys are very, very competent individuals, because fearlessness leads to a very clear vision. And through that fearlessness, you can actually get a lot done. The same goes for if you're highly confident. Highly confident people inspire more good things to happen via positive feedback loops, because that's how the universe works. The words I am means everything. And Scorpios will say, I am the best, I am a god on earth. They're very confident. They're the dark triad of the zodiac signs. So Scorpio, what you have to do is utilize those dark traits for your career and use it as a competitive edge, but leave it there. Sagittarius, the dark side to you guys is intellectual narcissism. You guys are very smart individuals. You guys like to teach people a lot of things. You guys make the best professors, but leave it there. Don't be home at the dinner table trying to teach people about trees or birds or whatever else. If people have an interest or an affinity for what you're saying, for sure teach them what you know. But the problem with Sagittarius individuals is that sometimes they have such a high level of intellect that they think that other people are even below them because they don't know certain things. So you just want to make sure you always remain humble, and you use that intellectual narcissism to actually monetize. Go on YouTube like me, teach. I like to talk about astrology and numerology. I know a lot of people around me don't care about it. So I talk to you guys about it because you guys are clicking on my video to see what I have to say, instead of me running my mouth to a bunch of people that don't care about what I have to say. So with Sagittarius, that's how that applies. Talk to the people that actually want to hear about what you have to teach. To the people that don't care about it, leave them alone. Capricorns, you guys are overly cynical. Your cynicism will lead you to negative feedback loops, which then lead to bad luck. And you guys will blame Saturn or whatever else for it and say, oh, I have a karmic debt in my core chart, and that's why my life is so hard. It's like, no, you're just cynical. You have bad expectations, so bad things happen. As Capricorns, you guys' explanation is easy, probably the most easy one of everybody. Start being a little bit more positive. Don't always think about what can go wrong. Understand it, weaponize what can go wrong, and then make an insurance policy for yourself so you don't actually hit that thing, whatever that circumstance is. So you can weaponize that cynicism in your mind to keep you safe, but don't let it stop you from taking those risks. Aquarius, you guys are eccentric. You guys are crazy. You guys are geniuses. You guys are innovators. You guys are the opposite of they always say, oh, don't try to recreate the wheel. you guys definitely will recreate the wheel. You guys will be the ones to make a new vehicle, new wheel, new whatever, new tower. You guys make new things. So as a result, what you have to do is keep your ideas to yourself for the most part. Unless you have like-minded individuals around you, try to keep your ideas to yourself. Else people will just think you're eccentric. If you're somebody who can actually avoid frivolous talking and be the person that's more action-based, you're going to confer a lot more respect in your current environment by far. Pisces, you guys' negative trait, I would say, is being overly sensitive. It's similar to Cancer, that could be like emotionally manipulative and then overly sensitive to criticism, things like that. But Pisces is notorious for being overly sensitive to criticism. Like the Pisces individuals that I know, some of them are people that are saying, yeah, my past was rough, I got over it. And then there's the other ones that are said, my past was bad, so I'm an alcoholic and I smoke weed and I do drugs and da-da-da. Don't be that version of Pisces. What you have to do is take the good with the bad of life, mix it together, and then make your own potion, make your own drink out of it. What you got to do is turn lemons into lemonade, guys. So as a Pisces, be sensitive and use your psychic ability to feel other people, be empathetic, all those things. Your emotions lead to a lot of great creativity and great innovations. Use it for that and leave alone the rest. All right, guys. So that should conclude the video for today. If you guys have any questions for me whatsoever, just leave in the comment section for me. Aside from that, like, subscribe. Holla, that's it for today, guys. Peace.